What's up guys, Sand Legend here, back again with another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and in today's video we'll be going over the new upcoming KIZUNA Clash Blackbeard, and going over some of the teams I've made to take it on when it releases. So in today's video, like I said, we're going to be going over the new KIZUNA Clash Blackbeard and all the stages. We're also going to be going over some of the information about the new 6+ evolution for Blackbeard, the super type Blackbeard from the very first super type batch. So it's going to be the Int Blackbeard. We're going to go over some of his information first, and then we're going to get right onto the teams. I have free to play and pay to win teams for you this time around. I don't have a one for all team for this, mostly because I just the teams I'm making for it, I feel like they're not going to work out. So if they do end up working out, then I will showcase them when the KIZUNA Clash actually drops. But for right now, they're not going to be in this video. So we're just going to be going over the free-to-play and the pay-to-win teams. So without any further ado, let's get started. So going over the new 6+ Blackbeard. So he's still going to be an int-driven powerhouse. Those are not going to change. He's still going to be able to boost his own attack by 5 times. I think. I want to say that is an upgrade. I'm not really too sure. I can't remember what the original Blackbeard did at this moment. But he does boost his own attack by 5 times now. And he does boost strength and int characters attack by 4.5. So they do add him boosting strength units this time around, which is actually pretty good. It means he can use a variety of other units other than int, because he's only an int boosting captain in his base form. He also is going to boost strength and int characters HP by 1.75, so he's very tanky still. He's going to make strength and int beneficial, and I'm pretty sure he didn't make any orbs beneficial for its regular captain ability, so that's pretty good. He's also going to be able to reduce his own paralysis and special bind completely, so you're able to use his special and attack with him at the very least. And he's also going to do the whole reducing his cooldown by 2 when you take damage. So one of the big takeaways from his captain ability right now is the fact that he now boosts strength characters, which, like I said, is really, really big. And on top of the fact that he can reduce his own paralysis and special bind, also really big too, because say you get paralysis and special bind for some reason on stage 4, you can use a Blackbeard special, and you're able to attack with Blackbeard still, and be able to defeat the stage 4 boss, depending on if you have like the if you use the special an appropriate amount of time, so you can get a big attack and orb boost, what we're going to talk about right now. So with special, he's going to do a 10% HP cut to the enemy, to one enemy. He's also going to now reduce threshold by 5 turns, so that's really good utility right there. I mean, not really good, but for his special, it's really good. And he's also going to change his own slot, including block, into matching, which I'm pretty sure he didn't do before. So really good that they're adding the orb changing mechanic with being able to go through block orbs this time around. He's also going to do the whole thing where he boosts his attack and his slot effects by a certain number of times, depending on how many times you use his special. So after you haven't used it yet, it's going to be 3 times. After 1 time, it's 3.5 times. And after 2 more times, it's going to be 4 times attack and orb boost for himself. So if you don't know Blackbeard already, he is a very self-centered unit, kind of like Stampede Luffy a little bit. But he doesn't boost his own base attack at all. So that's one downside about well, he does, but not in the way that Luffy does it. So I think his multipliers have gone up with the attack and orb boost from his base form, so they start out at 3 times and go up to 4 times. Now if you have him level limit broken, like maxed out, he becomes a 5.25 times captain to himself, a 4.75 times captain to the strength and int, and that's for his captain ability, so that's actually it's not that bad. And his special, instead of getting rid of 5 turns, he gets rid of 7 turns of threshold this time around. And his attack and orb boost start at a 3.5 times multiplier. So it goes up from 3.5 to 3.75 to 4 times. So he starts off a lot higher than he does normally. And his super type special actually does change too, just like Sabo's did, where he now boosts his own base attack by 1250 instead of the irregular 1000 he used to do. So a lot of good things for this Blackbeard. Again, he's still self-centered, and he does a lot of damage. So that's really it for this Blackbeard. So let's get on right into the KIZUNA Clash teams. Alright, so going over the first boss, going to be the Int boss here. And for these first 2 bosses, I want to clarify right now that they're going to be changing colors on the last stage, so keep that in mind here. For the Int boss, we're going to have Powerhouse, Fighter, and Slasher units this time around to get into the cooldowns here. So on stage 2, we're going to be dealt with 5 turns of attack down, and for some reason, they decided to add second stage defeat mechanics to this KIZUNA Clash. So after you defeat the boss on stage 2, you actually get your captain blown away for 4 turns. That sucks. That just sucks, okay? So we have to deal with that in some kind of way. We're going to be talking about that when we get to the teams here. For the stage 3, we have to deal with the boss changing from either from int to dex or staying as int. So we got to build a team of psi and strength characters so we're able to defeat the boss whichever color he becomes. He's going to give himself 5 seconds damage reduction, and then he's going to bind the top right, the middle left, and the bottom right units for 5 turns, or for 6 turns. It goes down to 3 turns after sockets, and then after you hit that KIZUNA threshold, you're going to be dealt with 5 turns of paralysis, and he's going to also up that bind by 2 turns. So it's actually going to become a 5-turn bind for the top right, middle left, and bottom right. So a lot of annoying mechanics you got to deal with. You got to deal with 2 defensive effects, paralysis and bind, which kind of sucks. So let's get right into the teams we're going to be using for this fight. Alright, so this is going to be like my 500th time recording this, because I'm just now realizing this, is that the way I want the team to work is not going to work. Because as you can see here, it says that stage 1 you use Toki. Don't do that, because the Toki effect does not last for the end of the second stage. It only lasts after the preemptive attack, which is them giving us attack down. So if when you do get defeated, when you defeat the second stage, your captain will get blown away. So instead, what you're going to do is activate Toki on stage 2, so that you can be immune to the debuff of getting blown away. And then on the next stage, you get the attack and opus for whichever characters you chose. I'll probably choose a strength and a psi unit, just because we just don't know whether the color is going to be dex or int or not. So it'd be just wise to probably just target the captain, since they're going to be doing the most damage here. So going over the rest of the team here, we have 6+ Sabo, because he is free to play. He does count because he was in Pirate Rumble. And he does give us a color free boost for our strength and side characters. And if you hit all your perfects, if you activate on stage 2 and hit all your perfects, you get a chain boost and a color free boost on the stage 3. So hopefully we are able to get that. If not, we're just gonna have to use the just the color free boost on stage 3. On the stage 3, speaking of, or stage 2 anyway, we have Weevil here to get rid of the attack down for us, and he's also going to give us an attack boost himself. So we have an attack boost for stage 2. On stage 3, we're going to be using the Coliseum Okiku to get rid of the bind and the damage reduction. They would have given us an orb boost if the team went the way I thought it was going to work, but they're just going to give us a bind and damage reduction special. And then the Chopper is going to give us paralysis removal along with the Straw Hat Crew that's supporting him. And since we don't really need the Garp for the attack boost, you can replace Treasure Map Garp with any other orb changing unit that you want, because that's mainly what he was there for, orb change and attack boost, if the team worked the way I thought it was going to work in my head. Which does lead me into talking about the next team. With that team being another Toki team using Roger as the captain this time. Now, the same thing is going to apply here. Use Toki on stage 2, because then you'll be able to avoid the blowaway. Because like I said, I got confused on whether or not the Toki effect lasts throughout the entire stage. It does not. So, use Toki on stage 2 to target Roger, and I'm going to assume probably just target the Toki again, just because of damage output there. And all the other units do what they're supposed to do, except for not except for the Kinemon Ninjaro. They do what they're supposed to do too. So what the Kinemon Ninjaro there is for is that they will get rid of the damage reduction for you by 6 turns, so that's pretty good. They're also going to give us a base attack boost. They originally were going to give us an orb boost, but since I figured out that Toki's not going to work the way I thought it was, they're just going to give us base attack boost here. And when you switch with them into Kinemon, they will also give us the slasher resistance debuff to the enemy. So that's basically all of our units except Sabo. Sabo is also there, is going to give us the chain boost and a color boost if we're able to do the 3 perfects. The Law is going to get rid of the bind and the paralysis for us, and the Inu is going to get rid of the attack down on stage 2 along with the Neko support. So that's really what this team is going to aim to do now that I figured out what Toki does. So we're going to move on to the next set of teams. Alright, going over the Psi variation or the quick variation depending on how you look at it. We're going to be looking at Powerhouse, Fighter, and Cerebral this time. getting the cooldowns. So on stage 2, the enemy is going to give themselves a defense up for 5 turns, and then after you defeat this boss, he's going to swap your bottom units with your captain, or the other way around. So swap your captain with one of your bottom units. So you have to be able to prepare for whichever captain you're going to be using for the rest of the run, because they're going to be swapped with them. You don't know which one it is, so you got to make sure both of your bottom units are suitable captains for your team, which really sucks. On stage 3, the boss is actually going to be immune to only poison and defense down reduction, so you actually can delay them, give them increased damage taken. You can burn them if you want to. You can do a variety of debuffs to them right now for this stage right here. And they're also going to, like I said, change their type into either quick or psi. So you have to prepare your team for using dex and int characters to get around this boss here. He's also going to give your crew 5 turns of paralysis, and he's going to give himself a 5-turn damage threshold. And after you reach the KIZUNA boss level or whatever, you're going to have to deal with 2 turns of attack down and 5 turns of damage reduction, which is really annoying. It's only 2 turns, and that's just enough to be like, that's why. You could have just left it off, really, honestly. So let's get right into the teams we're going to be using this time around. All right, looking at our free-to-play team, we're going to be using a Straw Hat crew with the Clash Jijimbe as our captains for right now. This is going to be the team setup we're going to be starting off with before you get your captain swapped. So on stage 2, we're going to be using the Blackbeard special to get rid of the defense down, or we're going to give him defense down, sorry. We're going to reduce his defense to 0. He's going to give us a conditional boost, and he's going to give us a base attack boost for driven and fighter characters, which is basically everyone on this crew. And it's going to enable us to do some damage to the enemy there. Now, when we do get the captain swap part here, it does not matter which one of those bottom units are going to be your captain. You just got to make sure that those 2 are your bottom units, or this will not work out at all. So, Luffy being the captain is going to be the ideal situation. You'll see why in a minute. But it doesn't really matter if you have Blackbeard as a captain or not. They're both really good captains. So, on stage 3, we're going to use Katarina. We're going to use her first because since the enemy is not immune to delay, we are able to delay them to get the conditional boost, which is what Katarina is going to give us. Now, like I said, we're going to be using her first because if you don't know what the Straw Hats do already, if you activate a special, or not activate a special, if you have 2 more buffs on your side of on your crew, then you will not be able to get any more buffs from the Straw Hat crew specifically. That's just how their special works, and vice versa. If you have their buffs, you can't activate any more buffs. So we have to be able to figure out how to get a conditional boost here without getting one or the other special from Straw Hat crew. So that's what Katarina is going to do for us. She's going to give us only the delay conditional boost icon, which allows us to get all the other buffs from Straw Hat crew, being the attack, orb, color fury, and the chain boost. So, and it's also going to give us rainbow slots too. Now, the other units are here for getting rid of the other debuffs here. The Jinbei is here to get rid of the paralysis and the damage reduction for us. And the Crocodile is here to give us to get rid of the attack down for us. Now, this Crocodile can replace anybody that gets rid of attack down. So it doesn't really matter if you have this Crocodile or not. So the Luffy, like I said, Luffy is really ideal as a captain here because, for one, he does have super typing, and 2, his super type special actually does buff an existing orb boost to being a 2.5 or 2.5 orb boost. So you actually are able to buff the Straw Hat crew's orb boost up to a 2.5 or whatever it is. Hopefully you're able to do that. If you're not, that's because of the Straw Hat crew special effect. So either way, you're able to get in super typing, which is more important here. So this team actually does fairly well on how it works and how it gets around all the boss gimmicks here. Now, moving on to the pay-to-win team, we're going to be doing a little change here. So this Nami unit right here, you may want to change her out into a unit that's able to be run under the the Halloween Shanks, because Halloween Shanks does not work. This team doesn't work unless you have someone that can activate the super type special of Halloween Shanks, being I think it's a Luffy, Mihawk, and any one of his crew that's actually named. So Ben Beck, Ben Yasop, and Lucky Roo. Now, the reason I say that is because on stage 2, you're going to want to use a super attack special to reduce the enemy's defense to 0, so you can get around the defense up. So that's why I say you want to switch out that Nami for someone that can be run under Halloween Shanks, and you can use another support to get rid of the paralysis for you. Unit like the Corazon unit for support on Law. If you have a Luffy, you can put Luffy on here and use the Rayleigh support. Also not pictured here is going to be the Mr. One and Miss Doublefinger support on the Robin Jinbei to get rid of 4 turns of the paralysis on stage 3. So just the note about that. Now, just going over the team in general, Uta's going to be activated on special on stage 1 to use her Tremor Aggressive special to get all the boosts for Cerebral and Striker characters for the rest of the KIZUNA. So that's what she's there for. The Law is there to give us the increased damage taken debuff to the enemy, so we can do a lot more damage to the enemy on stage 3 specifically. The Robin Jinbei is there because they get rid of all of the threshold, the damage reduction, and the attack down, so we don't have to really worry about that at all for stage 3. Plus, they give us a base attack boost on top of that. And then the Shanks, when we use this special on stage 3 or stage 2, depending on what the color of the boss is, then you can get a 2x color affinity boost for Slasher and Cerebral. And if you have, like, I think 4 more end characters, then you get a chain boost. So it'd be probably wise to bring an int unit to replace Nami there, just so we can have the int going, so we can use Shanks' special, since for some reason they made it weird how he works. And obviously, you can use the super type specials of both the Shanks and the Law first. And then if you get Uta as your captain, then you can use her super class special, so we can get the Cerebral boosting stat effects. So this team is going to be doing a lot of damage, especially with the increased damage taken debuff and all of the super type and super class specials being active. Now, going over the last KIZUNA boss is going to be the Strength boss. Luckily enough, this boss does not change color, so it's going to be a Strength boss no matter what. So the cooldowns are going to be to Quick, Psi, and Dex units, which really sucks. I wish it was Strength for various reasons. So Battle 2, we're going to be dealing with our health getting cut by 50%, which is pretty big when we get to stage 3. We're also going to be dealing with 5 turns of damage reduction. On stage 3, we're going to deal with 4 turns of both defense up and attack down, which both get bumped by 1 when we go into the KIZUNA HP threshold level or whatever. So they both become 5-turn buffs and debuffs to us and the enemy. We're also going to be dealing with threshold once again for 5 turns. And then for some reason, when you defeat the boss here, you will be dealt 80,000 in damage. So you gotta have to find a way to tank that damage or have enough health to tank the damage. So let's get into the teams we're going to be using for this final boss here. So looking at the free-to-play team, we're going to be using a Treasure Map Hina and Treasure Map Uta team. So this is going to be the 5+ Uta right here. So if you haven't gotten the skulls yet, I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming into the KIZUNA shop soon enough. So I'm going to pick up the skulls so you can get the 5+ Uta. Anyway, on stage 2, we're going to be using the Queen special. Now, Queen is really good because he does get rid of the damage reduction for us, and he also does damage to the enemy depending on how much damage we've taken in the previous turn, or just accumulated damage. I can't remember which one it is. Either way, we're able to do a lot of damage to the boss depending on how much HP he's taken from us. So, and also he's going to give us matching slots. And if you don't know, Hina locks your slots for 10 turns. So we're actually able to keep those matching slots for us. Now, you also can use an Uta special here to give us a chain boost and reduce the defense of the enemy to 0, just for some more damage output there. Now, on stage 3, what's going to happen is that we're going to be using the Ambush Sengoku. Now, the reason we're going to be using him is because he's going to give us an orb boost, and that's pretty important because Hina special says that if you already have an orb boost active, then you get an attack and a base attack boost for your crew. Now, if we didn't have an orb boost, we only get the orb boost from Hina, so this is pretty big that we actually have an orb boost already. Now, Hina, speaking of her, she's also going to get rid of the attack down for us and the defense up. We also have Dofi here, who does get rid of defense up too, but I mean, I'm just saying Hina because that's the next thing that just came out of my mouth. So, we also have our super type ability, which doesn't really help here since the enemy is like immune to everything, so we're just using a super type just for extra damage output. Now, the Dofi is also going to give us adjacent matching slots while also getting rid of the damage reduction shield. So we actually are able to get a full board of matching slots with just Queen and Dofi alone. And the Bullet is here to give us a 2x color affinity boost for quick, strength, and side characters if our whole team is built of quick, strength, or side characters, which our team is. So we're actually able to get all of our buffs here. We got the attack, base attack boost, we have the color affinity boost, chain boost if you use Uta again, and the orb boost. So we're actually able to get a lot of damage output from this team right here. Now, going into our last team here, we're going to be looking at a Hina and a King team. Now, this team actually is pretty interesting for the most part. So on stage 2, we're going to be using Queen Special again, like I said, but this time we're going to have the support of Smoker attached to Queen. That's pretty important because Queen is going to activate Smoker, and Smoker is going to give us an attack boost for quick characters, and that's important because King Special is going to activate on the next turn. And if you don't know how King works, King and Queen, the legends, they work in tandem with each other because one gives an attack boost, one gives an orb boost, and if you have any of either active while the other one's active as a captain, then their specials are going to launch in the next turn. So the way King's going to work here is that since we have an attack boost on the stage 2, we're going to get the special to activate on stage 3, which does give us an orb boost. We're also going to activate King Special on stage 2 here because after one turn, after you use a special, we're going to get a chain boost. So we actually get a chain boost, an orb boost on stage 3. Now, on stage 3, speaking of, we're going to be using Bobbin Special to get rid of all of the damage threshold and defense up, and he's also going to get rid of the attack down for us, so that's pretty cool. It's really good for this KIZUNA, honestly, especially if you have him especially when you have him limit break expanded. He's really good. We also have the Kuzan here. Now the Kuzan's here because he gives him the color affinity boost and he's boosted on this KIZUNA, so you don't have to use him. He's just there for a color affinity boost. That's really all he's there for. So like I said, he's just there because he's boosted. Now, the Hina, like I said, is going to get rid of she can get rid of the defense up and the attack down, but that's what Bobbin's there for. But she's mainly going to be there to give us, like I said in the last team, the attack boost and the base attack boost, since we are going to have an orb boost on stage 3. Now, the ulti page 1 are here because King is a driven and powerhouse unit, and ulti page 1 special activates with the driven and powerhouse unit. So the way it works is that she's going to change all of our slots into matching, or they're going to change all of our slots into matching. If you switch with them, switching into ulti, they're going to give us... sorry, I almost burped there. When you switch with them, they're going to give us a chain boundary effect. We're not going to get the super switch out of them because it's 6 switches, and we're not going to be able to have it done by we get to stage 3. So we're going to get the 1.6 chain boundary to some number. I can't remember what it is now. And when you activate their special, like I said, they give us matching slots, and they're going to give us a guaranteed conditional boost against the enemy after you reach 10 million HP on the KIZUNA itself, which is going to be a 2.25 times conditional boost against a marked enemy. So when you get to 10 million HP, then this effect is going to take place. So you shouldn't be taking too long to get to 10 million HP. I want to say it's around like probably like 4, 5, 6 maybe past that, I don't know, but it should be really early on in the KIZUNA you get to that level to activate their conditional boost for free, basically. And also you can use the super types of Hina and the super type of King to get the various effects they give and to get more damage output in that fight there too. So that's really it for all of the teams for the KIZUNA Clash coming up in very soon, actually. Alright, so that's really it for today's video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I will see you guys in the next video.